round draft pick for the Oakland Athletics. Obviously, he didn't go, but this one is going to go, and it's going to get out in a hurry. No doubt about two-run home run for A.J. Miller, and McGreasy might have stayed in the ballgame on a bat too long. A.J. Miller jumped all over that one right there. You can see why the Athletics wanted to draft him a couple years ago.
Yeah, that was a that was a pretty swing. I think a home run from a left-handed hitter is probably one of the prettiest things in baseball. I don't know why. Ken Griffey Jr. I think about. Just you have that rhythm, that follow through. It's a pretty thing.
Out of his last 5 hits in the last couple weeks, 2 of them have been 3-run home runs. He takes a mighty hack at this one, fouls it off the right-hand side, and the count evens up at 1-1. So the runner's opening things up here, putting another 3 spot up.
I feel like we've seen 3 a lot this weekend.
Right?
There's been a lot of 3s.
Is anybody a numberology expert or something? What's that mean? It's like a dream interpretation person?
I have no idea.
I don't either.
I barely know what a Virgo means.
You told me all about it last night.
Not a whole lot. I just knew I was very consistent and I need everything to be perfect. That was it.
Okay, all right. Well, that one's grounded out. Sean McLeod over to Rivas, and James Bell is retired. Bases full of runners.
There it is. There it is.
Line down the first base line, just fair. And some runners are going to do some running. 1 run, 2 runs come home. Here's the relay for the 3rd run, and instead they throw to 3rd to maintain Evan Rice's double. And it's a bases clearing variety. And Bakersfield opening this one up a little bit here. It's now 9-4.
That's a tough call again by Grace. I mean, you can't lefty, you know you're going breaking ball. But after that first breaking ball that Roldan threw, it was a little too good. And so for me, it's like, all right, if it's something too good, you got to kind of change speeds a little bit. Let's go maybe a fastball away or fastball inside, get him off the plate to set up that breaking ball again. It's always tough going back to back because then the pitcher sees that spin and he's sitting on it like what Rice did. That was a good piece of hitting by Rice.
Man, a big 2-run home run, a no-doubter in the 5th inning that went to right field. It was a pitch where he could really just drop the bat head down, and he did so.
So if I was Miller right here, I'd be looking for a breaking ball. You got 2 bases open. Doesn't look like you're to get 1 fastball to hit. Obviously, when you change it up a little bit, 1 fastball there. But again, I think I would change my approach and just sit breaking ball so he can elevate. He has a beautiful left-handed swing. I think it'd be good to see it up so he can really drop that head.
There's Evan Rice at 3rd with his lead. Roldan comes set. Comes to Miller.
There it is.
Yeah, there's that curveball you're talking about. Misses in.
You know, it's interesting. I think in the high school, even Little League, travel ball, you're thinking, oh, sit fastball, and then adjust. But then I think once you start getting information at the higher level, college, professional, major league, then it's good to start changing your approach just a little bit to really prepare. You know, because now again he just went back-to-back breaking balls right there. And that last pitch, I wouldn't say was it the best pitch to hit, but at least if you're looking for it, then you're going to give yourself a chance to at least smoke a line drive at less than a gap.
Long Beach State took the first 2 games of that series. Cal Poly going for the sweep against the Matadors of Cal State Northridge. Got to say hi to our friend Mark Kurtanian, who coached there for a time.
Oh, yeah.
Good old Mark Kurtanian.
Good old Marky Mark.
Love that guy.
Oh, man, he's such a beautiful human being. We used to call him the professor, the therapist, just because he did so well on the mental side, really getting to players' minds and really caring about not just them as a baseball player, but them as a human being. And so that's something that I've always took from Mark, and I've learned so much and have so much respect for him.
Yeah, Mark Kurtanian, beautiful human being. Here's Aaron Casillas. He took a ball off his face earlier, and that happened to be a strike because he attempted to bunt at it.
You know, that's 2 runners getting smoked in the face this weekend. Guess what? They're both in there, and they're still grinding away. Love the character.
They have strong facial structures.
Well, it's probably the water in Bakersfield.
Ah, yes.
It's good water.
What do they put in it?
They get it from the Kern River. Morrissey looks pretty aggressive at first right now. Had a good first step. It looks like might be a little bit aggressive on the base pass, which I don't mind. Down 3. Obviously, you want to see the offense swinging a little bit, but something can change the momentum of the game just with a nice stolen bag, first to third, scoring from second. Little things like that. Base running can really change the momentum of the game, that's why you like the speed. That's why you like that momentum playing.
1 for 1 on the season so far is Morrissey, as this one bends inside off the plate, 2-0.
Perfect example, Dave Roberts, World Series, Red Sox. That changed the dynamic of everything.
And everybody knew he was going.
Yep.
Everybody. Put in the game as a pinch runner, specifically to steal that base and then score eventually that run, which he did.
Off the best closer in baseball. Doc, they call him Doc for a reason. The research and how much time he spends watching videos and getting times to first and looking at shoulders, feet, head movements. He was so prepared as a player and as a coach as well. That's what makes him so great.
And that one's down the middle, 2-1. I thought he was called Doc because of his initials.
Could be that too.
DR.
It could be.
He's doctor.
Well, I heard just because of all the information that he's learned and how much he grasps as a player, I think they called him that as well. Yeah, I got to talk to James Bell a little bit of his time in Oregon. A good buddy of mine, Jack Marner, who's the recruiter / assistant coach there. James said he had nothing but great things. Me too. He was a tough player, especially with the Seattle Mariners. Went to Calabasas High School, and he was also an Oregon Duck. So it's nice to have alumni that's kind of taking the realm a little bit.
Sounds up and in. I'm going to say this is a compliment. You know everybody.
No, I don't. You know what? I think in the baseball world, it's all about building relationships. And sure. I think for me, I learned it from my father. Just, your first impression with anyone you meet is so huge. And I think you meet so many people in this industry that we're in, and it's a blessing, and you just never know. It's a full circle that comes around.
Oh, absolutely. Nice curveball right there, bends into the strike zone. 2-1. Speaking of your father, he's in attendance tonight. I got to meet Omar finally.
Yeah, he's here. He's here watching. He's critiquing me. He came and saw me. He loved how I looked in the suit, and then he started critiquing how I did my tie. I'm like, Dad, come on. I'm 32. What are we doing? But it's great. He definitely makes it special. He seems my first high school game, my first travel ball game, my first college game, my first professional game. He saw me in Ogden managing, where I was actually, I think, more nervous than my players were. And now he's seeing my first game that I'm in the booth. So it's always nice for him to make the time and effort, and he sacrificed a lot throughout my career to give me the opportunities that I've had.
A great man, and so happy to see him here. Big smile on his face. Strikeout. Recording the out at first is Carnazzo, as James Bell went fishing.
With that whippy arm, too, it makes the ball a little bit more electric.
Yes, sure seems to.
The one thing I think Ramirez does great, he does not change his arm slot on any of his pitches. It's the exact same momentum, same swing. Right there, a really nice changeup. He's spotting well, and it's tough. It's tough to pick out of the hand. Usually as hitters, you start looking for different body movements. You look for, all right, maybe we want to breaking ball, he's a little higher up. But when it's from the same slot every time with movement, that is not fun to hit.
And that movement, at least on the last pitch, almost looked like a sinker movement, but it was the changeup. 2-2 as this one misses.
Well, when you're throwing from the side too, you're automatically get some natural run to it. I'll be honest, I'd rather face someone that's throwing 95 plus straight right over the top than a guy like Ramirez who has a lot of movement on his ball and has good secondary pitches.
They call that the heavy ball, right? You get a lot of ground balls on that, get a little jam shots.
Yep.
Yeah. Runs full here does Ramirez to A.J. Miller. A.J. Miller steps out, now steps back in. Awaits the full count offering from Ramirez.
There
What
it
a
is,
pitch.
that cambio.
Wow.
Check the string. Check the string on that ball.
He could throw it at any time and any count, and he does it right there with a full count to Miller. And there's 2 outs. That'll bring up the big designated hitter,